Cookie!
And welcome to the 5th season of the Faux Sung Elizabeth Cookie Show. I'm very happy to be back, although I had stated in my time frame that I will be shooting the new season and the new episode will be up either the second or the third week in January. I was doing some modifications to the production of my show since I'm the only one who does this kind of work by myself. So I wanted to make sure that I'll give y'all something new this season. Something new, something energetic, something great with great new technologies of what I've learned with Adobe Premiere, Pro Elements, and Avid Media Composer. So from now on, when I give you my reviews are going to be a lot more professional. You're actually going to see footage of what I'm talking about, as well as a well thought out review, where to find the stuff, and how to add it to your own collection as an anime or video game collector. So as I had said right before the end of the year for the start of the new one of 2013, I said this season is called Faux Sung Elizabeth Cookie Exposes the Idiots, right along with my anime reviews, life lessons of reality, which is now called Real Talk 101. But what I also did not tell you guys is that I will now be delivering news or one very important current event that is going on in China, since the video game world in China is my forte. So let's get right to it. The first current news as of right now is that China has had a 10-year-long decade ban on video game consoles in the mainland and actually also on the coastal cities of Shanghai. So now what's happening is they're starting to open up their borders to Japan and to America to release video game consoles. Currently, the Xbox Connect is being used in mainland China as a way for medical surgeries, but they're using this as a conduit to actually go and release more video game systems to the China digital entertainment market, known as China Joy in Shanghai's financial district, which to us over here is like their version of CES. Now, I quote, according to my news feed right here, that China authorities are reviewing a decade-long ban on game consoles and considering the possibility of opening up the country's video game hardware market, a government source told China Daily. Because of the fears of the potential harm of physical and mental development of the young, 7 Chinese ministries has collected, manufacture, and import game consoles in 2000. So now that we know that China will finally open up their video game market to Japan, what will we do now? This actually means more global video game tournaments for us that are competitive players in Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Marvel. Please tell me what are your thoughts on that. Please review this video. So getting right on to the next thing, today's anime review of choice is Melaine Hoffman of Agent 0091, the animation series. Okay, Murphy, let's show the footage. Alright, so today's lady of the day is the star of bishoujo anime 0091, Lady Melaine Hoffman. She is a female of a number 9 group of female assassins that works in a group of the 00 organization of the Western Bloc Intelligence Organization during the Cold War. Almost her entire body has been cybernized, and various parts of her body are equipped with special functions which are necessary for spy activity. Besides her standard weapon, which is a wave gun, the WAP-009, commonly known as a plasma gun in future technology, she also wears earring communicators, boots with hidden needle gun, and other agent gear. Her most secret pieces of equipment are her 9mm machine guns integrated into her boobs, which is something not new for those who know about Cutie Honey, which have been made into her part of her body as fire bio bullets. Various secret equipment has been installed and modifications done to her body, but her physical abilities were high to begin with in the first place. She is also a clear mind. Together, all with her makes her a single most outstanding agent in the 00 organization. She was once a casualty of the war of the past. She is split between her brother Paul, who works for the Eastern Bloc, that she does not find out until much later on into the series. Melaine Hoffman is a woman not to be messed with, as she falls into my category of Lady of the Day, a very wonderful female goddess who can also hold her own as well as save other men from their distress. She is only one of 9 other female ladies in a group that work for the 00 organization. This series was once licensed by ADV Films, but then has been rebought licensed over by Funimation. This can be found on Amazon.com. This can also be found on eBay. I highly recommend this bishoujo anime, Agent 0091.
I couldn't suppress it even if I wanted to. And that's not all. It also gives me premonitions of danger beforehand. Got it? You were thinking of killing me just then.
Second nature for an agent, I'm afraid. And now that we've both laid our cards on the table.
For one of us, this is going to be our last night on Earth. Let's enjoy it.
So like I had mentioned before, 00 Agent 091 was once licensed by ADV Films, but since ADV Films ran out of business a couple years ago, the license was then re-renewed by Funimation Films. This animation can be bought currently through the Funimation website, or you can find used copies of it on eBay, Amazon.co.jp, or Amazon.com. So now on to our video game review. I'm turning back the clock to talk about one of the most famous bishoujo fighting games known as the Asuka Burning Fest series. Although this animation or video game, Japanese animation video game, was very popular, they still never made an anime for it. People wonder why. Like Advanced Variable GO2 and like Angel Eyes and other bishoujo fighting games, this was one bishoujo fighting game that has the most productivity for that time and was never released as an animation or even an OVA. Okay, Murphy, let's show the footage. Alright guys, today's bishoujo video game review of the month is the Asuka Burning Fest series. This series has been released for the PC Engine, known as Asuka 120% Burning Fest Maxima, then for the PlayStation in 3 different versions, Excellent, Special, and Final. Final for PlayStation was created from the back graphics that were already done for the Sega Saturn, known as Asuka 120% Burning Fest Limited. So, the setting of this game takes place at a private school for women known as Royal Ran Private School, which educates the daughters of the upper class society. Here at this high school, there are these famous clubs that annually hold a martial arts tournament called the Mega Fight, in which they use this tournament to bring in money and budget for their respective gifts. Each character fights with moves that are making from their own merits of the club. The original characters, of course, are all girls, but later on in the series, they release a male principal who is able to fight via using a code. The game was released in 1994. It was available for some personal computer systems as well as the PC Engine, as I mentioned earlier, and then 3 different versions for the PlayStation. Sega Saturn had its own version. Then years later, somewhere in 1999 to 2000, they came up with one called The Return of Asuka Burning Fest, and then a fan disc known as Limit Over, which was a special burnt version for the Sega Saturn, which is an unofficial release. The game has received critical review in the world of bishoujo fighting video games of all women, and was able to stand the test of time and contend with another famous fighting game known as Advanced VG, or other fighting games like Angel Eyes and Fist, which was known as a prequel to Pretty Fighter X. I've played this game many times before. I have all of them to the series for the PlayStation and for the Saturn, but not the PC Engine. I have the soundtracks as well. Numerous image collections have been released for this one fighting game, and up to date, this is the only bishoujo fighting video game that has the most productivity released for its time, and is still very famous in Japan and some short circuits in a cult following. This game can be found on Amazon.co.jp as well as can be found on eBay. Should anybody be having any problems trying to find the music, please feel free to email me at the Faux Sung Elizabeth Cookie Show or fusungc@yahoo.com for images, music concerning anything, or video games concerning the Asuka Burning Fest series, ISOs, the more the liking, etc. Here are some more scenes from the video game as we continue on with the review. So yeah, Asuka on 120% Burning Fest released versions for the PC Engine, for the home computer systems, 3 versions for the PlayStation, and 2 versions for the Saturn, 1 official known as Limited, and 1 version known as Limit Over, which is an unofficial release of fan disc created by the occult following in Japan. So with that being said, I'm going to go on to the real talk of today as Faux Sung Cookie exposes the idiots. So today's idiot of the day is doctors. Doctors don't know shit. Now, this is why I gotta say it this way. It was a couple months back in July of 2012 that I herniated my lower disc and my lumbar spine. Now, the discs are these pieces of cartilage that go in between the bones of your spine. They act as shock absorbers that when you jump and run and play and do all those type of heavy activity stuff, that they press on the disc and obtain all the shock from just regular everyday motion. Well, I was at the gymnastics facility when I did a round-off double back handspring and a tuck. When I landed, I herniated my disc, and my disc bulged to the point where it was pushing up against my main nerve, which controls the side of my leg. This would be confirmed as sciatica. So going to a doctor and getting an MRI, they're looking for something totally different. The fact that I had no fractures, they felt that my spine was in impeccable condition, but I was not in impeccable condition. I spent months and months doing physical therapy on my own until I finally did the research to go to a chiropractor, in which a chiropractor looks at the condition totally different. They called and diagnosed me with something that they named as subluxation. Now, subluxation is when your spine is out of alignment, and from those alignments cause inequities between the oxygen movement that flow through the spine and also prohibit the correct signals from the brain that act as the trigger points to the spinal cord and the nerves that follow out of it. So we have our spine, we have these nerve endings that come out of the spine, and the brain acts like the remote control that presses the button on the spines to act out those functions being controlled by those nerve endings that come out of the spine. When you're going through a point of subluxation, it just means that the spine is out of alignment, and because it's out of alignment, the signals cannot trigger those nerves correctly being shot off by the brain, which can also lead to herniated discs, lead to degenerative disc disorders. It can also lead to other spinal problems down the line in the future, including arthritis and also bony spurs that come out of the bones of the spine because your spine was misaligned. Now that I have found that out about myself, I've only had a couple of chiropractic treatments so far during the year of 2013. And from their adjustments to my spine, putting me back in order, I have been able to run, jump, jog, and pretty soon I'll be back to tumbling the way I normally have since I've been going after my world as the anime mascot goddess, my career here in California. So what does this say about doctors? Doctors just give you a generalization of what they feel that they think that you're going through. They're looking for totally different stuff that have nothing to do with the condition and would rather go and give you all these medications and get you doped up on stuff that actually are not even treating the source. They're just treating the symptoms. And over time, they eventually will put you through something called surgery, which you will probably find out you never even needed to in the first place. So when I say doctors are idiots, they go to school for all those years to totally learn nothing. It's not until you go to a specialist that a specialist can tell you actually what is going on with that part of the body. Why? Because they've been studying that part and that region of the body for so many years. When they say don't go to chiropractors because they use jolting and moving and can re-injure yourself, no. That's just the medical market trying to pull money from their side of things because they know that chiropractors know exactly what they're doing. For all of you active people out there who are gymnasts, who are soccer players, runner, basketball players, even football players, baseball, whatever sport that you do, and you feel your back is getting in a state of being fucked up, you need to go to a chiropractor. Do not go to a doctor. Do not take ibuprofen. Do not take Flexerol. Anything that they are actually trying to give you, that they prescribe for you, don't take it because they're trying to mess with your body's alignment system. Go to a chiropractor. See if you have a misalignment in your spine, which is called subluxation. I repeat, it's called subluxation. The misalignment of the spine, because when your spine is misaligned, the oxygen flow cannot flow through to the disc to give the proper nutrients for corrective healing. There was once a saying that says, "Hell knows no fury like a woman scorned." No, that is not true. Hell knows no fury like when your back is fucked up. So go to a chiropractor, see if you have subluxation, and get that shit corrected immediately. Say Cookie! As I, Full Song Elizabeth Cookye, exposes the idiots. Doctors don't know shit.